Hello, my beautiful ladies, and welcome to the Feminine Energy Motivation Channel. I'm so excited for what I'm about to share with you guys. I actually got this motivation. It's late at night here where I'm at, but you probably won't be hearing this until the following morning. I actually was at unfortunately, a celebration of life. It was so beautiful. And while I was there, I was interacting with some close friends, mutual friends, and basically this topic kind of came up, and I really just felt it in my heart that I needed to get this out to you guys. So I hope you find this valuable. I'm going to dive in and hopefully make this kind of quick, at least a little bit shorter than some of my other shows. So I want us to talk tonight about something crucial, and by the time you read this, it might be morning or daytime or afternoon, okay? But a man values your heart. Yeah. So if you've ever found yourself with a man who didn't value your heart, who neglected it, it's time to address that. When a man fails to truly appreciate you, to care for you, and to honor your feelings, not only does it break my heart, but it's also a red flag that I want you guys to be aware of. It isn't just about him not treating you right, but it's also about him disconnecting from your essence, from your feminine vulnerability. All right? So in this video, we're going to delve into the topics so that you can cultivate a deep, loving, and committed relationship with the man that you desire. Choose him wisely. All right? No more dealing with men who pull away, lose interest, or stop investing in you. No more. Done with that. All right? It's time to fill that void and create the fulfilling connection that you, my beautiful ladies, deserve. Okay? And if you're new here, welcome. And if you're a returning subscriber, I want to thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It really, truly, truly warms my heart to know that you guys are back and following me and seeing what else is cooking. So thank you. Thank you so much, okay? But I'm here to guide you through this journey because I know that this journey can be a little treacherous, a little confusing. And quite frankly, if we're going to put our emotions into this and our feelings, it's really just not only scary, but it's kind of cold. And there's not a whole lot of concrete evidence, solutions, etc. That we can go by. But we're going to try to solve that today. I might not do 100%, but hopefully you give me a passing grade. All right, ladies. So let's delve right into this. Wait, I'm getting comfortable now. Okay, so the key concept here is the importance of sharing your core emotions. Yeah, you're going to have to share your core emotions, but what does that mean? What are those core emotions? They are the fundamental feelings that you experience in the midst of living your life, especially when you met with a man or anybody really that you actually care about. All right? But for this particular topic, we're going to relate this to a man that you care about. Core emotions are a set of fundamental feelings that are believed to be universal across human cultures and societies. While there are variations in how emotions are expressed and understood in different cultures, right? Psychologists have actually identified several basic or even core emotions that are considered to be primary and distinct. These core emotions often serve as a foundation for a wide range of more complex emotional experiences. Now, I'm going to give you some examples of the commonly recognized core examples. Like I said, they are commonly recognized. That doesn't mean we're going to cover every single one of them because there's just too many to cover. All right? And I'm going to give you some examples as well. So hang with me. Now, one of them is happiness or joy. The feeling that you get of contentment, of pleasure, of gladness, right? Which is often associated with positive experiences that you have, okay? Another common core emotion is sadness. The feeling of sorrow, grief, or unhappiness typically triggered by a loss, a disappointment, or even a failure, right? Disappointment. I want you to keep that in mind for a moment, okay? Because we're going to jump into that as well. Now, anger is another one. The emotion characterized by feelings of hostility, frustration, or irritation, right? This is often in response to perceived threats, injustices, or even some obstacles that you face along the way. Another one is fear. This is a very, very common one. It's one that I like to really drill down to because, as well as fear, and we call this light or dark, right? Fear is dark and love is light. There's only two core emotions that people say that you feel, and it's actually written in the Bible as well. So, fear is the sensation of apprehension, anxiety, or alarm in the face of perceived danger, threat, or harm. Okay. Another one is surprise, the sudden and unexpected reaction to something unusual, startling, or unexpected. It could be a good one or it could be a bad one. There's no dark or light on this one, right? Or it could be both. I mean, who knows, right? Depending on the situation. Another one is disgust. This is that aversive reaction that you receive, that you feel to offensive or distasteful or even repulsive stimuli, often associated with a desire to avoid or reject it. Okay? Some researchers also include other emotions, such as contempt, right? That's one of the Apocalypse of the Four Horsemen from doctors John and Julie Gottman. If you haven't checked out the Gottman Institute, I highly recommend it. Another one of those emotions is also shame, even guilt, and interest, believe it or not, as core emotions, right? As these play significant roles in human social interactions and personal experiences. Now, understanding these core emotions is absolutely essential for studying human behavior, psychology, and even emotional well-being. They provide a framework for comprehending how individuals perceive and respond to the world around them. Okay? So, a core emotion is something very basic, like usually hurt, sadness, anger, guilt, shame, desire, love, fear, right? You name it, those are the core emotions. These are just some of the core emotions that might be coming up inside your heart at any given time. Depends on the situation you're in. And sometimes it can be a little confusing, let's be honest. I don't know what I'm really feeling inside. I just know that it doesn't feel good. Or I'm really happy right now, but for some reason I'm crying, right? It can be confusing. So I get it. Now, why is it important to share your core emotions? Okay? It's so important because a man needs to be able to feel your heart in order for him to feel connected to you, right? Or even for him to be attracted to you, or even for him to feel like he wants to devote himself to you. If he doesn't feel your core beautiful heart at your core feminine, he is going to be detached. And he's going to feel like this is just some woman that I might have sex with, I might interact with, maybe even a friend. There might be something there, I don't know, but it might not be really anything deep for him because he's just not getting that sort of instinct activated inside of him, right? So you might end up feeling like I'm vulnerable with this guy, but he's just not understanding or receiving it well, and it's making me feel actually worse. All right? So, you can have this, let's just say, and I'm sure you do, honeys, okay? But let's just say you have this beautiful, amazing, sexy body, right? And a face to rock it with. And you're just this epitome of a beautiful woman, right? This beautiful, sexy, attractive, all heads turn whenever you walk into a room. Or not, whatever, right? But you know that deep down inside you're a beautiful person. but you're walking around in this world wearing all kinds of just covered up, a hoodie, and you're kind of really not showing your face. You got your hood on, you're wearing sunglasses, right? And you're completely covering yourself up so that nobody can actually see you. Well, guess what? That's pretty much what you're doing with your heart, right? You're guarding your heart. You're closing it up and hiding your heart, essentially, your emotions, your core feelings from a man so that they don't have to feel afraid, right? So that they don't think that you're too difficult, so that they don't think, she's just a little too much for me. I don't know where to go with this. I'm just gonna have her kick rocks, right? So that actually can hurt you and actually push a man away. That's the truth. And it might hurt to hear that, but I'm gonna give you some ideas and concepts here for you to hopefully not only work through those things, and you can work with me. I'm here for you. You can contact me directly, and we can work through breaking those chains off of you. All right? Now, I'm going to give you some reasons for why we might be hiding our emotions. And trust me, you might resonate with either one of these or many of these. Okay? Especially when it comes to those core emotions in a relationship with a man. Now, I want you to consider a concept of the fear and of the vulnerability that you feel. Many women, such as yourself, might fear that expressing your true emotions will actually make you vulnerable to being hurt or even rejected by whoever it is, whether it's your partner, even your friends, right? Your family members, whatever, right? You might actually worry that showing your emotions will make you appear weak or even needy. No one wants to feel that way, right? All right. Another one is social conditioning. Society often will impose expectations on us women to be emotionally strong and resilient. Men have it much worse than we do. But the reality is, because these men are so expected to behave that way, it's been conditioned in them since they were kids, since they were babies. You're not allowed to cry, right? They have to be emotionally strong and resilient. How can they tap into those emotions and feelings for us and allow us to be our vulnerable selves, right? So, but believe it or not, ladies, you do have control over this. And this is not something that I share incredibly freely, so you're getting kind of the inside scoop here. But the reality is, women have so much control about how they go about sharing their core emotions and the impact that it has on their man in a positive way. And I'm going to be sharing that here with you. So keep listening, all right? Now, what that social conditioning does, causing you to be emotionally strong and resilient, right? What it does is it actually leads you to suppress your feelings in order to conform to those societal norms, right? You might even feel pressure to maintain a facade or composure, right? And even control, even when you're struggling internally. Yeah, and you're being told, hey, keep it under wraps, young lady. And I get it, it's part of our feminine essence. But here's the reality of it. We're going to tap into how to do it appropriately and get the best results and the best outcomes. That's why you're here. So I'm glad you're here, okay? But let's keep going because the juicy stuff is coming up later. So another thing for why women hide their emotions could be past experiences, okay? Previous negative experiences such as being invalidated, right? You were being told that you're crazy, or I don't understand where your ideas are coming from. That's not true. That's not the case. That's not what happened. You're making things up, whatever it is, right? Or you're even being dismissed when you're actually expressing your feelings, your emotions. It can actually lead you women to develop a habit of hiding your true feelings. And that's your way of protecting yourself from further harm. So it's completely understandable. Completely understandable. I empathize with you. If anything, I relate, right? Another reason that women might hide their emotions, it is basically just a desire to really just avoid conflict altogether, okay? Some women might actually avoid expressing their core emotions, but majority of the time it's because they don't understand it. They don't know what they really are, right? Like I mentioned before. But they also do it to prevent potential conflicts or disagreements with their partner. They might even prioritize maintaining harmony in the relationship over addressing their own emotional needs. Been there, done that, right? That's why I'm doing this, ladies, because I've had to learn, I've had to grow. There's a way to do this effectively. Before I give you the beans and the soup, we are going to keep going. Another reason for why this happens, why women tend to hide their emotions, is a lack of trust. You women might actually withhold your core emotions if you don't feel that you can actually trust your partner to handle your feelings with care and understanding. You might actually fear judgment, criticism, or even indifference from your partner, which can actually discourage you from opening up. Yeah, it's pretty scary out there. So overall, the decision to hide those core emotions is often truly rooted in that complex psychological, social, and relational factors. Okay, but I have to say, it's truly important for both partners to create a safe and supportive environment where emotional honesty and vulnerability are valued and even encouraged, believe it or not. All right, now that we got through that, hopefully you get a better sense for what those core emotions are and where they come from. I want you guys to also understand how those emotions play out in relationships, okay? As we explore this together, it's important to me that you acknowledge that certain behaviors from our partners might lead us to hide our core emotions. Okay? And I'm going to give you some examples. A good example is an insensitive response. When our partners dismiss or even respond insensitively to our emotions, we might actually feel hesitant to share our true feelings in order to avoid feeling hurt any further. Okay? Another reason is controlling behavior. When we have our partners who exhibit controlling tendencies, it can actually create an atmosphere where we feel stifled or even afraid to express ourselves authentically. Okay? Another one is emotional unavailability. If our partners struggle to connect with their own emotions, we might feel discouraged from opening up about our feelings because we fear a lack of understanding or even support. Okay? Even judgmental attitudes. Believe it or not, this one's very common, right? Partners who are critical or even judgmental of our emotions can actually make us feel self-conscious or ashamed, leading us to actually hide our feelings even more to avoid scrutiny. All right? This is also important. I talk a lot about inconsistent support is another big reason. When our partners are inconsistent in their support or even responsiveness to our emotions, we might hesitate to share our feelings, our fears, right? Over disappointment or even rejection. That's our fear that we have. We don't want to feel that. So we hesitate, especially when we see that there's inconsistent behaviors. Okay? There's also something that kind of encompasses all of these, but really it has to have a line item of itself, which is partners who engage in gaslighting or manipulation, right, may actually sow seeds of doubt inside of us regarding our emotions or even perceptions, causing us to actually hide our true feelings to avoid that conflict. So to sum it up, in essence, any behavior that undermines our sense of emotional safety and trust can contribute to concealment of our core emotions. I want us to empower each other to cultivate open communication and mutual respect between all of us, especially in our relationships, where we all feel empowered to express ourselves authentically and without fear of judgment or even reprisal. We need a safe space, and so do our partners. So as much as you're hearing this from our perspective, we need to think about our partners as well, because guess what? We're out there in the fields, believe it or not, fighting a lot more battles than we believe that they are. Okay? Now, that's a whole segment for another show, so we're not going to get into that today. Sorry, I'm just adjusting myself here, trying to get comfortable. So, okay. Now, we're going to talk about this is where the bread and butter is, okay? So hopefully you guys have stuck around long enough to hear this part. The best way for you to share your core emotions with a man is actually fostering open communication, vulnerability, and mutual respect. But I'm going to give you some steps as well as why you want to do these things, some reasons for why, okay? And some examples. So, number one, I want you to choose the right time and setting. Choose a time when both you and your partner are relaxed and free from distractions. Ensure you're in a comfortable and safe environment where you can openly share yourself without those interruptions. Okay, let's not do this at a local bar or restaurant where there's other people coming and going, okay? Let's do this in a private place where it's just you and them. Now, an example of this that you can utilize is you can say, honey, I've been feeling a bit overwhelmed lately and I'd really like to talk to you about it. Would you be available to have a conversation tonight after dinner? Okay, the next one. Using I statements. I talk about this a lot. Frame your emotions using I statements to take ownership of your feelings and avoid placing blame on your partner. Okay? What this does is it actually fosters a sense of personal responsibility and it actually reduces that defensiveness. Sorry if you hear me shuffling. I have a heating pad on and it's getting a little too hot. Okay? All right. Now, a good example of this would be saying something like, honey, I feel anxious when I'm uncertain about the future, and lately, I don't know, but I've been experiencing some uncertainty regarding our relationship. He's gonna be like, what? Trust me, this one will get his attention real fast. Okay? Another one. I want you to be specific and honest. I want you to clearly articulate your emotions and the reasons behind them. Avoid generalizations. Ladies, we tend to do this a lot. We generalize, okay? I want you to provide specific examples to help your partner understand your perspective better. Now I'm going to give you an example. You ready? You can say something like, honey, during our argument yesterday, I felt hurt when you raised your voice and interrupted me. It made me feel like my opinions weren't valued. I know that's not how you truly feel, right, honey? I know you didn't intend to do that, but that's just how I felt. Something along those lines, right? But the point is, I need you guys to really be specific and incredibly vulnerably honest. Okay? Next one. I want you to express your needs. You need to be able to clearly communicate what you need from your partner in response to your emotions. Whatever that is, okay? Whether it's validation, support, or simply just a listening ear, expressing your needs fosters understanding and connection between the two of you. Okay? An example of that could be, you can say something like, babe, when I'm feeling overwhelmed, I really appreciate it when you give me space to talk and offer reassurance. It really actually helps me to feel supported and even understood. I know. Feel free to write these down. Okay. Another one. I want you guys to practice active listening, right? Encourage your partner to actively listen to your emotions without judgment or interruptions, but they need to do the same for you. Okay? I want you to validate their efforts to understand and empathize with your feelings, and they should be doing the same for you. But one way that you can do this is you can use this as an example, right? You can say something like, "Thank you for listening to me and being so supportive, honey. It means a lot to me that I can actually share my emotions with you without fear of judgment. It makes me feel safe, so thank you, honey." And you're done. Okay, there are so many incredible benefits of sharing those core emotions with a man. One of them can be you can actually increase that emotional intimacy between each other. Sharing your core emotions actually fosters a deeper emotional connection with your partner that promotes greater intimacy and even closeness. Another one is improved communication. By openly expressing your feelings, it actually allows for clearer communication and a better understanding of each other's needs and perspectives. There's no, "Oh, I don't know how you don't know how to do this," or "I don't understand how you don't know that I'm upset or sad. How do you not understand?" Right? There's no reading of the minds. That doesn't work, ladies. If you've been doing that, please stop, okay? It doesn't work. We need to be able to openly express our feelings incredibly clearly, okay? Another one is our enhanced trust and understanding. So I want you to share your vulnerabilities with your partner because this also strengthens the trust and it promotes a deeper understanding of each other's inner worlds. Don't you want more of that trust and understanding between you two? That's where improved communication also plays a huge part, right? Conflict resolution, that's a huge one. Addressing those core emotions head on can actually help prevent misunderstandings and resolve conflicts more effectively. And in the end, it actually can lead you to healthier and more harmonious relationships. All right? When men genuinely care about a woman's core emotions, they demonstrate it through their actions, their words, and even their attitudes. Now, I'm going to give you some examples of what it looks like when men show genuine care for a woman's core emotions, so that way you can pick up on it as to whether or not your man is emotionally intelligent, believe it or not. And believe me, I'm teaching the men this stuff too. So I have a masculine energy motivation channel where I will be sharing this with them as well. Believe me, it's already in the works. All right. First one on the list for how you can actually show your core emotions and actually receive some sort of response from them. Here's some examples. Healthy men make an effort to actively listen to a woman's emotions without interrupting or dismissing them. That is called active listening, honey. Okay? They are able to give their full attention, maintain eye contact, and provide verbal and nonverbal cues to show that they are engaged and empathetic. All right, a good example of this would be when a woman expresses her feelings about a challenging day at work, her partner puts down his phone, maintains that eye contact with her, and even nods in understanding as she speaks. He validates her emotions by saying things like, "That sounds really tough, honey. I'm here for you." Okay? And active listening is so important for us to really feel understood. Okay? Empathy and understanding. This is what it looks like, okay? When healthy men demonstrate empathy and understanding, what they do is they actually acknowledge a woman's emotions and they try to see things from their perspective, right? So they validate her feelings, even if they don't fully understand them. They don't need to, but they still offer that support and that comfort. Now, I'm going to give you an example of what that looks like. When a woman is expressing her anxiety about an upcoming presentation, for example, her partner reassures her by saying, I understand why you're feeling nervous, honey. Presentations can actually be incredibly stressful, but remember, you're well prepared and I believe in you, sweetheart. It doesn't have to be verbatim, come on now, but you get the point. If he's showing that he is actually empathetic and understanding, you've got a good man there, okay? Another one. Healthy men validate a woman's emotions by acknowledging their validity and even expressing appreciation for her vulnerability and actually sharing these core emotions. They affirm her feelings, and they even reassure her that it's okay to feel the way that she does. If your man is doing these things, honey, you got a good one, okay? When a woman expresses her sadness, for example, about a personal loss, right, or something, her partner will respond by saying, I'm so sorry you're going through this. Your feelings are so incredibly valid. And I'm here to support you in any way that I can, honey. I got your back. Okay? Another one, offering support, right? So incredibly healthy men typically offer practical and emotional support by helping their women cope with her emotions. They ask how they can actually help and offer assistance without trying to fix the situation or even invalidate her feelings. A good example of this is when when a woman expresses her frustration about a difficult situation, right? Her partner asks something like, how can I support you right now? Do you need someone to listen, or is there something specific I can do to help? This is a beautiful one, and us women, we need to do the same exact things. Anything and everything that you're hearing right now, believe it or not, it goes both ways. Okay? I love this one especially because this is something that I strive to have everyone do, and that is, I'm here to listen. Do you want my unsolicited advice? Or do you want me to just listen? Or do you want me to help you fix it? Right? It's so powerful. And as much as it seems kind of like, that's kind of annoying, right? Or do I really have to do that? Well, you know what? I'd rather it be frustrating or annoying, but at least you get clarity. I'd rather have clarity. So maybe it's a personal preference, but I highly recommend that you look into doing this, okay? It'll save you so much struggle, so much strife. Trust me. Another one is respecting boundaries. Healthy men are able to respect a woman's boundaries and comfort level when it comes to actually sharing emotions. They're able to create a safe and non-judgmental space where she feels free to express herself without fear or criticism or even ridicule. An example of this is, let's say that a woman is expressing reluctance to discuss a sensitive topic. Her partner respects her boundaries by saying, you know what? I understand if you're not ready to talk about it yet. Just know that whenever you're ready, I'm here to listen. That would be amazing, right? Overall, healthy men, emotionally healthy men, demonstrate care for a woman's core emotions by actively listening, showing empathy and understanding, right? And even validating her feelings and offering that support for her and respecting her boundaries. They prioritize her emotional well-being and they strive to create a nurturing and supportive environment. Now, for the majority of men, we're going to move on to another topic, right? But now I want you to kind of think about it this way, right? For a majority of men, they genuinely do care about your feelings, ladies. They really do, okay? They're going to truly try their best to understand them when you express them in a constructive manner, however, instead of weaponizing them against them. This is the moment you've been waiting for, and why you've been hanging on so tight is because I am ready to dive into the depths of what really helps a man to truly feel connected to you. Okay? So, how do you achieve this? The first step is connecting with your core emotions. Now that you understand what they are, now that you understand some examples and kind of some concepts that you can utilize, okay, we're going to dive into your primary feelings, ensuring effective communication of those core emotions with the man and what it actually involves. You want to know what it involves? It involves self-awareness, it involves clarity, and even vulnerability. And I'm going to give you some strategies for you to ensure that they're effectively being shared and that you're not going about it the wrong way, especially your core emotions, okay? Now, I'm going to readjust here. Another one. So this is what I want you guys to start with. I want you to identify and acknowledge your emotions. Take the time, excuse yourself if you have to, in order for you to recognize and understand your own emotions before sharing them with your partner. I know this might be difficult to do, especially if you're in the heat of a moment. But I assure you, it'll be well worth it. Okay? Excuse me. So, I want you to reflect on what you're feeling and why you're feeling that way. Okay? Before discussing a recent disagreement with your partner, I want you to take a moment to identify your emotions and realize that you're feeling hurt, that you're feeling frustrated, because I want you to acknowledge that you perceive your partner's emotions and actions as dismissive. So, if you are able to identify and acknowledge your emotions, you'll be in the clear, honey. Okay? I want you to also use I statements, like I said before. Frame your emotions using those I statements to take ownership of your feelings and avoid sounding accusatory or even blaming him. Instead of saying, "You always ignore me when I'm talking." That's not helpful. It's really not. A woman can instead express her feelings by saying, "I feel unheard when I'm speaking, and it makes me frustrated, honey." Okay? Remember, this is a man you love, possibly even married, and you said some vows. You said till death do you part. So remember, he's still your honey pie, even if he frustrates you. Okay? I want you to also work on being authentic and honest. Share your emotions honestly and authentically without downplaying or exaggerating them. Be genuine in expressing how you truly feel. So instead of pretending to be okay when you're actually upset, you can openly admit to your partner, "I'm feeling really anxious about the upcoming job interviews, and I could really use some reassurance, honey." Done. He will take that, he will hear that, and he will shower you with the love. And if he doesn't, send him my way. All right. Now, next one. Provide context and specific examples. I want you to offer that context and specific examples in order to help him understand your emotions a little bit better. I want you to explain what triggered your feelings and how they manifest in your thoughts and behaviors. An example of this, instead of simply saying, "I'm feeling stressed," right? You want to elaborate by saying, "I've been feeling overwhelmed lately with work, some deadlines, and even family responsibilities. Last night, I couldn't even sleep because I kept worrying about everything on my plate." And his natural response is going to be like, "Wait, what? You've been feeling like that? How can I help?" Hopefully. Or, "I'm sorry you're feeling that way, babe," right? But you need to provide context and specific examples in order for this to be effective. All right? I also want you to express your needs and desires. I need you to clearly communicate what you need from your partner in response to your emotions, whether it's validation or you need support, some sort of action, whatever that is, right? Or maybe you need reassurance, or maybe just as simple as a listening ear. Sometimes we need that. So after you share your feelings of insecurity about your body image, I want you to use this example, right? A woman actually expressing her need can say something like, "I could really use some encouragement and affirmation from you, honey. Can you remind me why you love and appreciate me?" Especially when it's that time of the month, believe me. I'm one of them. I just want to be reminded. Oh, I know, it's silly, but that's what I do. I just ask them, "Can you remind me, honey? what made you fall in love with me? Or why were you attracted to me to begin with? Do you remember? And it brings him back to his old days, especially if you've been dating for many years, okay? All right. I also want you to encourage that open dialogue. I want you to encourage him to ask questions and engage in that open dialogue about your emotions. Invite him to share your perspectives and feelings in return. You might be asking, how do I do that, Cynthia? Well, let's say that after you express your emotions about feeling disconnected lately, you can invite him to share his thoughts by saying, honey, I'd like to hear your perspective on this too. How have you been feeling about our relationship recently? It's simple, right? I know. But we need to do a better job of doing this. We need to encourage that open dialogue. Be incredibly vulnerable. All right? You can ensure that they basically are feeling that you are effectively sharing your core emotions. Okay? Fostering that deeper understanding, even that connection and intimacy that you are so desiring in your relationship. Okay? All right. Now, I want you guys to consider something for me. We're almost there, but I wanted you guys to kind of just roll with me for a second. I want you to imagine yourself in a moment of introspection, attuned to the subtle whispers of your emotions, right? As a woman, you possess a unique ability to tap into your feminine intuition, to listen to the language of your body and decipher the core emotions that are pulsating inside of you. Okay, I want you to start by tuning into your body, noticing that those sensations, acknowledging them, right, that arise inside of you. I want you to think of it as, is it a flutter? Is it a flutter of excitement maybe inside of your chest? Or is it a heaviness in your gut or a warmth spreading through your limbs? Think about those things, right? These physical cues are often the first indicators of your core emotions, believe it or not. And they are signaling what lies beneath the surface of your consciousness. Okay? Once you've identified the essence of what you're feeling, it's time to give voice to your emotions. I want you to take a deep breath and let your words flow freely, expressing your innermost truths with clarity and authenticity. Regardless of whether it's joy bubbling forth like a springtime melody or even sorrow casting shadows across your soul, honor the depth of your emotions by sharing them openly. Now, imagine the reciprocity of this exchange, the profound connection that arises when two souls bear their truths to each other. Just as you have listened to the whispers of your own heart, so too can you extend this gift of listening to the man beside you. Invite him into your world, encouraging him to share his own vulnerabilities, his own fears, and even his desires. In this sacred space of mutual sharing and understanding, bonds deepen, hearts intertwine, and love absolutely flourishes. For it is in the act of vulnerability, of laying bare our core emotions, that we forge the most profound connections with those who hold dear. Okay? So, when I say, I feel hurt or I feel sad, it's an invitation to dive deeper into my emotions. Perhaps you'll ask something like, why do you feel sad? And in response, I might recount the events of yesterday, the words exchanged, the emotions stirred, and how they made me feel. This is more than just sharing feelings. It's bearing the core of my heart authentically and vulnerably. So when I open up in this way, it's not just words, it's a glimpse into the depths of my being. And when you listen, truly listen, you're not just hearing my words, you're feeling my heart. It's this authenticity, this vulnerability that draws you in, creating a bond that transcends words alone. Okay? Now, let's picture this analogy for sharing your emotions effectively. Imagine you possess a beautiful golden heart crafted with care by hand and gleaming with purity. It's nestled within a box, waiting to be shared with a man. As you approach him, you have two options in how you present it. The first scenario, okay? It unfolds as a woman hastily pulling it out of the box, right? Flinging it towards the man with force, demanding he take it. Here, take this, she says. Her anger palpable, right? In her frustration, she's wielding her emotions like a weapon instead, lashing out and demanding acknowledgement. This approach, driven by hurt and anger, can actually create tension and defensiveness. Now, I want you to consider the alternative. Picture another woman delicately unveiling her golden heart to the man. With gentle hands, she lifts the lid of the box, revealing its radiant beauty. She offers it to him with grace and vulnerability, allowing him to see its true essence. As he gazes upon it, he's filled with awe and appreciation. He reaches out, eager to hold and cherish this precious gift. In this scenario, the woman's core emotion is shared in a manner that invites connection and understanding. By expressing her feelings openly and authentically, she invites the man into her world, fostering intimacy and even trust. Her vulnerability becomes a gift, cherished and honored by the man. By sharing her emotions promptly and sincerely, she also avoids the buildup of resentment and misunderstandings in the future. Instead, she cultivates a relationship grounded on openness and communication. This approach, rooted in feminine strength and authenticity, fosters a deeper connection and mutual respect between the both of you. Now, one of the vital keys to sharing your primary emotions with a man and allowing him to truly feel your heart is to do so quickly and frequently, okay? It's crucial to express your primary emotions while they're still raw and fresh before they have a chance to fester into resentment, anger, or even some other secondary emotion like shame, guilt, or even fear. And not only that, he might even forget the interaction altogether. Because let's be honest, these men sometimes are not very present as well, okay? I'm not trying to talk bad about them. Men are incredible, okay? But the truth is, some things just don't stick in their minds the way that us women it does, okay? So, by sharing in this timely manner, you're actually offering your emotions in their purest form, authentically and vulnerably, in a feminine way. Okay, that's what we teach here. So when you share your primary emotions in the moment, the man has the opportunity to acknowledge and connect with your heart immediately. Ideally, he can respond and take action in the moment or as soon as possible afterwards, right? But this allows him to truly feel your heart in its raw state, experiencing your primary emotion firsthand rather than a diluted version, right? So, as he receives and values your emotions, he's inspired to cherish and nurture your heart willingly. It's not a matter of feeling pressure to fix or tend to your heart, but rather a genuine desire or care. And it's all because of the way that it was presented. He'll express gratitude for your openness and vulnerability, and he'll be eager to make you happy and address any concerns or needs you have. So give this a try, ladies. By adopting this approach, you invite him to actively participate in nurturing your relationship that instead will actually foster a deeper connection and mutual understanding. So take your time to absorb these insights, because I know it's a lot, and if needed, revisit this guidance to actually let it sink in fully. You can also reach out to me directly, okay? And share this with your significant other if you feel so, right? If you feel comfortable enough to do so, please do. Watch it together while you're laying in bed late at night. And if you're doing this already, kudos to you, okay? Now, I want you guys to consider the analogies that I've shared here with you today. They illustrate the potency of embracing your feminine essence. The power lies in the ability to make a man perceive your heart as a precious treasure, because it truly, truly is. And so is his, right? Instead of something to be disregarded or cast aside, like it's just, oh, this is frustrating, or this is annoying, or I don't want this, I don't value this, right? You don't want that. You want it to be loved and respected and admired, right? Like a precious treasure. So, by embodying your feminine energy and expressing your emotions authentically and frequently, you actually demonstrate the value and importance of your heart to a man that you actually care about, inviting him to cherish and nurture it alongside you. This isn't merely about sharing your emotions, it's about sharing them in a manner that resonates with both your authenticity and your feminine strength, fostering, like I said before, that deep connection with the man in your life. All right, ladies, that's it for today. I know it's getting pretty late for me here, and I can see that my boyfriend is messaging me on Discord, so I need to go tend to that as well. But I love you guys so much. I hope you found this incredibly valuable to you. I want to send you some warmth and care and understand that I want you to know that I completely understand and I empathize with your emotions and your feelings. They can be incredibly scary to navigate. So I'm here for you. If you have any questions or you want to reach out to me directly, you can do so by reaching out to me via email. You can also contact me on Instagram. I will also be available for you if you just want to post a general comment or question in the comments section of this video, okay? But I'm sending you my warm hugs and I'm embracing you ever so empathetically, and I understand what you're going through and I know it can be scary to navigate, but you're not alone. I'm here for you, okay? Take care, you beautiful ladies, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.